My mother was seething when she found me sleeping top naked in my bedroom because her boyfriend is in the house, but what she confessed made my jaw drop. My 18 mom and I live in a crummy apartment complex in NYC. Our apartment itself isn't crummy. We've taken a lot of pride in making the inside of our apartment look nicer than it really is, but truth be told, the building is crummy. So much so that the radiator in my room is broken, and I get heat every day of the year, even in summer. I prefer not to open my windows during summer as well because all types of questionable creepy crawlies like to come through the window, so I usually sleep on top of the covers or without pants. Last night it was too hot, so I slept without a shirt or bra. I have pretty huge honker, it's no secret, but I was in the comfort of my bedroom and I kept my door closed when I slept. This morning I woke up to find my mom staring at me. She scared me crap less, especially because I have a loft bed and was making direct eye contact with her as soon as I opened my eyes. She stood there and screamed at me for 20 minutes, telling me to put a shirt on and calling me a ruthless WHRE for sleeping without a shirt while her boyfriend was there. I put a pillow in front of my body and closed my eyes to go back to sleep. This wasn't good enough, and she ripped the pillow from my arms and told me to put on some clothes before her boyfriend came in here and saw me like this. I told her I keep my door closed for a reason, and if she's worried about her boyfriend bothering me, that's more telling of her boyfriend, not me. She was absolutely seething and told me I was to live under her rules while I was in her house, and that included not being trashy and sleeping with some clothes on. I figured she was being ridiculous, but her boyfriend heard the commotion and ended up coming into the room to get her, without knocking mind you, and left me flailing to find a sheet to cover with. He was kind of eyeing me and told me my mom was right and I needed to sleep with clothes on. I'm having a hard time understanding. Am I really an a-hole here? Edit. I can't lock my door. She won't allow me to replace the doorknob with one that comes with a lock. Update. After the whole debacle, I did purchase a wedge under my door from Walmart. It worked, and I didn't have any more issues with waking up to people in my face. I used the excuse that it was to keep our cat from opening my door at night, and my mom seemed fine with that. While he was here and even after he was gone, my mom seemed detached and sort of out of it. I asked if everything was okay and she said she needed to sort out some feelings first, but she promised we'd talk when she was better. I said okay and left it at that. A couple of days later, E came back for another weekend stay. The day after he came, they had an at-home date night with drinks and fancy takeout, and that night I woke up to my door being messed with. I called out to see if it was my mom and got no response. I pulled on a t-shirt and shorts and pulled the door wedge out to check, and E was standing at my door. He was drunk, and I was a bit panicked because I thought something had happened to my mom and he needed help, but he just stood there for a few seconds without saying anything. He didn't seem to be sleepwalking or in peril, so I said, I'm uncomfortable. I'm closing my door. Before I could close the door all the way, my mom flew out of her room, saw him, and started cussing and screaming and telling him he needed to leave. They argued back and forth for a while, but eventually, she got him out the door. After calming her down, I took her to her room and we had a talk. It turns out, the day she had come into my room, she had been on his phone and saw he was talking to his brother-in-law about me in very disgusting ways, talking about how I was growing up to be very shapely and mature, and that he couldn't wait until I moved out so he could dump my mother for me. He said far more explicit things that were all extremely worrying, especially since we've known him since I was 11. My mom had come to tell me to be careful around him while she thought of a way to break it off safely, but when she saw my state she had some misplaced anger. He's out of our lives now, thankfully.